Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown from caringourway.com, and this is a soul break. So it's 30 minutes where we get together and we take a break during the middle of our day. And I thought today we could take a break from doubt. So okay. All right. So I'm getting some nods of encouragement in terms of, yes, this is a good topic. Gosh, I think doubt is just it's just hard. There's so many reasons that we can actually have doubt and feel doubt and be plagued by doubt. So I thought, let's tackle it today. Let's see what we can do about our doubt. I think doubt leaves us with questions. So I'd love for you to share in the chat room your answers to some of these questions. Here's the first one. What does doubt tell you? This could relate to our imposter syndrome, where we feel like, oh, I'm not sure I'm good enough. I don't know if I know enough. It also can relate to a limiting belief. I'm too old. My weight isn't right. I think that's doubt. Can't do it. Yes, just cannot do it. Cannot do it. Right. Thank you, Brenda. Yeah, absolutely. So if we know what doubt tells us, then we know to pay attention. That's doubt. And it's important for us to know what doubt sounds like, so we recognize, oh, that's just doubt talking. Because then we can think about, what could I listen to instead? And we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. So here's the next question for you to think about in terms of doubt. Oh, thank you, Bev. Yes, absolutely. It's that we are less than, and that puts us in a place of fear. So the doubt tells us that we are less than, this idea of a limiting belief. We don't have enough. We aren't enough. We don't know enough. And that puts us in a place of fear. And I think what happens is, especially with imposter syndrome, we fear that someone will find out that we don't know enough, that we're not smart enough, that we're not young enough, whatever it might be. Okay, so here's the next question that I'd love for you to answer. And that is, what impact does doubt have on you? Yes. So doubt impacts our productivity. When we're in a place of doubt, we are second guessing ourselves, which means that we are using up time to have a conversation with doubt rather than moving into action and taking care of a task or a responsibility or a decision or delegating. Oh, Brenda, this is good. Stops me from trying something new. Right. Yes. So the doubt connects us to a risk, and the doubt can lure us into believing the risk is too great to try something new. And what I think is interesting is the impact of doubt is tied directly to what doubt tells us. So doubt can tell us, you know what, I think you're too old for that. So then you think, well, I think I'm too old to go back to school. So I don't think I can do that. Yeah. Okay, so here's the third question I'd love for you to think about in terms of what doubt tells you. So the third question is, when does doubt show up for you? And you could think about this as it relates to a timing during the day, related to certain situations, related to relationships you might have. So maybe you have a friend and what the friend says has a tendency to kick up your doubt. It also could be seasonal, depending on the time of the year. And it could be related to work, where you are in a work project. So when does doubt show up for you? You know, what's interesting? Doubt shows up for me on social media. So I've been very intentional about who I connect with on social media. Because if I'm filled with doubt, as you guys were talking about in the chat room, it means I'm second guessing rather than taking action. So I'm aware that social media could be a garden of doubt for me. So Bev is sharing, doubt shows up when she's talking to someone who I feel is better or more powerful. Yeah. Wow. And what an insight about power. This idea of deciding who holds the power and deciding it's not us. And I think doubt puts us in a place of feeling less powerful or believing we don't hold power. And then Brenda is sharing in her work, because her work is overwhelming and because the work is nonstop, it's working with individuals who have Alzheimer's or dementia. That is nonstop, which is overwhelming, which then leads you to believe we are not doing enough. I think that's a great example. When we worry that we're not doing enough, we move back into the less than perspective. And then I think it leads us into this place of guilt and shooting on ourselves. And it's really a hard place to be. In the training programs that I deliver, I often emphasize what the true solution is, because sometimes we believe our solution is to be superhuman, when instead it is, for instance, to be fully present as a good listener. And listening is the solution. It's not fixing, it's not problem solving, it's not taking away a challenge, it's listening. That's the solution. So when I start to think, oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough, I go back to, well, what's the true solution and the power I hold in delivering this solution? And so, Brenda, just the fact that you are present in each moment is the solution. Present in each moment of your shift is the solution. If we understand what doubt sounds like, when it shows up for us, we have a greater insight into its impact, which means that we are aware that doubt can hurt us. So then we start to think about, well, what's the cure for doubt? So I'm going to use the word faith, and I want you to use the meaning of that word and the way that works for you. Faith is a belief system. It could be attached to spiritual or faith-based ideas. It's whatever it means to you. So when I think about having faith, I think about abundance. And so that's why I picked this picture of the cornucopia. The faith that there is enough. We are enough. We have enough. So here are a few questions for you about faith. So what does faith tell you? So I think about, for me, faith tells me to keep going. Faith tells me that hard work will pay off. Yes, and in the chat room, faith tells us that we can do what we didn't think we could. Absolutely. It's trusting in yourself. Yes, thank you. So we talk about in a spiritual way that faith is the way we answer what we cannot understand, so to speak. And I think when we look at it from our day to day actions and tasks and responsibilities, it's this idea that we can have faith that we can do it. Maybe we haven't done it before, so we don't have proof, and that's okay because we can do it. And the other thing I like to tell myself is I can do it. And if there's a challenge, I can figure it out. Yeah, and I love the idea of trust as it relates to faith, trusting ourselves, trusting our wisdom, trusting our skills, trusting our support system, trusting that there's energy around us that we cannot see or name that is supporting and helping us. When you have faith, and again, it's the meaning that you attach that works for you is the right way to look at this. When you have faith, what is the impact on you? Bev is saying calmer. Yes, right. I love the reminder that faith helps us with our stress. So rather than stressed, we can be calmer because we can trust. Yeah, I love that. You know, it's interesting when I was putting together the questions around faith, I almost substituted confidence instead of faith. But I thought there was something that we needed to talk about that we can't necessarily name that's a part of our faith, or see, or know that's a part of our faith. Yeah, so when we have faith, we are able to get things done because we are using our time wisely. We're not giving it up to doubt. We're staying in faith, which keeps us moving forward. Okay, so here's the last question about faith. And for me, this is the challenge. So, how can you remind your faith to show up for you when you are feeling doubtful? I think, yes, being confident in decisions. Thank you for that. We can be confident in our decisions, knowing that we're making the right decision right now with the information we have, and we have the authority to change the decision as new information arrives, different resources become available. We can also look to our past experiences with faith to remind ourselves that it exists for us in the present, and we're going to take it with us into our future. So, if we were to think about a way to remind ourselves, we could think of a simple statement like, I'm going to keep the faith on this. I have faith it will work out. I have faith in myself. I have faith in my skills. So the reminder can be a simple statement that we keep around faith. I also think visuals like this cornucopia, which is abundance, can help us keep the faith too. When you look at this picture, what emotions do you feel? Fresh. Thank you, Brenda. I love that. Fresh. Yeah. Fresh. Oh, I love that. Fresh. Yeah. Yeah. So if we're in a state of feeling depleted, looking at a photo like this freshens us, rejuvenates us. Yeah, fresh. I love the vibrancy of the colors, which reminds me that I can be vibrant in all my dimensions. There's also something about the harvest, too. Going back to this idea that our hard work pays off. This is a photo of hard work paying off. And it's not just one person that did it, it's nature, it's someone who planted, someone who took care of all the different fruits and vegetables, someone who actually then harvested, and then someone who set this beautiful bounty on the table. So we can do a lot with the right team, I guess. And that's a good reminder about faith. So I get these photos from a website called Pixabay, which is Pixabay.com. And they're public domain, which means that you can use them. So you could gather some photos and create your own PowerPoint presentation, for instance, and you look at different photos depending on the emotion that you want to create for yourself by looking at the photos. So let's spend a little time with a belief statement. So we're going to keep the faith and we're going to create a statement that helps us keep the faith. So how would you complete this statement? I believe. I believe in me. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I believe I can do anything. Yeah. I believe I can do it. You could write a statement, a belief statement based on different situations, different relationships, and different seasons. So, for instance, you could write a belief statement around the upcoming holidays. So, I've got a prompt that can help us with that. So, these caregiving wheels are part of the training programs that I deliver. And I like to use these because they help inspire a conversation without overwhelming the conversation. In addition, sometimes if you have like even a simple statement that you want to complete, you think, oh, I'm not sure what that word is. And what would I create belief statements about? She just said situations. What situations would that be? So these wheels help us zero in. So for instance, you could think of a belief statement about your work. And then you could even get more specific. You could write a belief statement about how you work with others. You could write a belief statement about how you communicate effectively at work. You could create a belief statement about how you feel about being a team member. What's it like to be a member of a team? I believe an effective team member is prompt, reliable, and compassionate. And then as we go around the wheel, you could think about what do you believe about play? And I thought of that because I haven't had some time off. Well, recently I thought, gosh, I've got to figure out some way to feel more playful in my day and in my life. So you could write a belief statement about play. And it could be related to particular relationships. I believe in playing with the grandkids as often and as much as I want and can. You could write a belief statement about pets. I play with my dog by throwing the bone. every time we go out for a walk. And I believe in how important it is to do that. And then you can write a belief statement about family and what you believe about family. Before we started this meeting, I had a coaching call with a family caregiver, and she was talking about how she looks at family. And she's thinking about it in a different way because she can see that her carees are getting closer to death. And so she's rethinking what family means to her and who her family could be. So family as defined today could also change depending on what changes within the family. And then you could create a belief statement about the holidays, how you celebrate them, what your priorities are, what rituals and traditions are important to you around the holidays. You could create a belief statement about your dreams, meaning what's your goal and vision for your future. We've been talking about courage, which is the antidote to doubt. So you could create a belief statement about courage and when you use it and how you use it and who helps you feel courageous. You could write a belief statement about your health, the health of others, and health relates to all aspects of our being, I believe. So it's spiritual, it's emotional, it's mental, it's financial, it's physical, all those categories of health. You could write a belief statement. And then I really think it's helpful when we think about what do we value in our life? I believe that valuing family means I stay connected to love every day. So what are your values? And then what are your belief statements around those values? There's 8 words, but that's not inclusive. This is just to get you started and think about what are the belief statements. And then, if in doubt, you can go to your belief statement, which then puts you in a place of, I have faith because of this belief statement. How does this sound to you guys? Yep. Thanks for being here, Beth. I'll send a link to the archive too, so you can watch the rest of it. Okay, so let's move into our last question, which is, what's your line in the sand? Which I think we don't necessarily ask ourselves, but it does relate to faith. So what's your line in the sand? And it could be, what's your line in the sand around acceptable behavior, around the length of your day? You could say, you know what, my line in the sand around how late I stay up is 10 p.m. And I just don't stay up past that, regardless of what anybody asks me to do. Now, of course, you're going to personalize this based on your own situation, but thinking about what's your line in the sand? The line in the sand, interestingly enough, also connects us to our faith. Because if we have an understanding of, you know, I have a colleague that keeps asking me to do things. And then you can think, you know what, my line in the sand is, I can do this, but I'm not going to do that. And then you keep the faith because you've determined what the line in the sand is. You don't doubt, oh, should I have done that? Should I have said something different? If you're clear on your line in the sand, then you also remove doubt because you have a line in the sand you've thought of. And as it relates to different areas of your life, you can go back to our belief wheel and create lines in the sand around work, play, family, holidays, dreams, courage, health, values, and anything else you can think of. In addition, when you have a line in the sand that impacts and relates to someone else, you can let them know too. You don't have to say, my line in the sand is, you can just say, this is what I can do. above that, beyond that, I don't have energy, resources, availability, but I'd love to help you up till this point with this piece of it. Okay, so let's stay on this visualization of the line in the sand because it's also a beautiful photo. And let's do a quick breathing exercise before we close for today. So I'd love for you to get comfortable where you are and place your feet firmly on the floor. And then if you can, rest your hands on top of your lap with your hands open. And we're going to do a breathing exercise where you breathe out doubt and you breathe in faith. So we're going to start by taking some deep breaths in and out, and then I'll start to prompt you as to when you're going to breathe in faith and breathe out doubt. We'll do this just for about a minute. Okay, so take a deep breath in and then release. Another deep breath in and then release. Another deep breath in and then release. Continue to breathe in and breathe out. And then on your next breath, breathe in faith and breathe out doubt. We believe in you so you can let go of fear. We know you can do it so you can let go of doubt. We know you have wisdom that will guide you so you can let go of doubt. We know that you are kind and compassionate so you can let go of doubt around doing enough. Breathe in faith, breathe out doubt. Breathe in you can, breathe out you can't. You're keeping your faith and you're letting out your doubt. Breathe in faith, let out doubt. Continue to take a couple more deep breaths in and then release. Deep breath in and then release. Keep the faith, release the doubt. Okay, and when you're ready, you can open up your eyes, come back to us. So today, we walked through some simple exercises that keep you in a place of faith, and you have some belief statements that you can refer to when you start to doubt. And then the breathing exercise can help you when you think, oh, the doubt is really getting to me. Take a few moments and simply breathe in faith and breathe out doubt. Keep the faith by breathing it in. Okay, thanks you guys so much for being here. I'd love for you to stay connected to me. We have a community on Mighty Networks called Caring Our Way. And the address is caringourway.com. And you can join us to register for any of our upcoming events. I'll post the archive of this on our YouTube channel and on Caring Our Way. So you have a couple places to access it whenever you need to be reminded to keep the faith. Okay, thanks everybody.